Good morning, gorgeous, and welcome back to Rose Colored Glasses with RK. I am RK, Rachael Karlyl, and today I want to talk to you about making promises to yourself and actually keeping them. If you are one of those people that make New Year's resolutions and only last 4 days, then this episode is for you. If you said this morning that you wanted to get out of bed at 6 a.m. so you could go to the gym and you hit snooze a million times and you got out of bed at 7:30, this episode is for you. If you keep on saying that you're going to stop drinking and then you had a bottle of wine on the weekend, this episode is for you. So I do coaching because I do coaching with coaches to support me in the work that I do, because I know that I've got to deal with my own stuff so that I can support people to do the things that I know people are destined to do. Part of that is me listening to Erika Cramer and her podcast. And one of her big lessons is that confidence essentially comes from being able to trust yourself. And if you keep on breaking promises with yourself, then you cannot trust yourself, which is where that lack of confidence comes in, which is where this inability to kind of take your life to the next step or next level really stems from. And that is, you make a promise to yourself and then you break it. And then neurologically, essentially, your brain is like, well, you're not going to keep that promise anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I don't care if you're going to restrict me from eating that thing, or are you going to make me wake up in the morning, or you're going to say that you're going to do a thing because you're not actually going to do it, and it's totally fine. It's just essentially like an empty threat or an empty promise to your body and to your brain. And so I was listening to this episode again, and this keeps on coming up for me. I keep on saying that I don't want to be drinking alcohol, and I want to be eating better. There's an amazing trajectory of doing that, and then things going great, and then I stop. And so what I want to understand and what I want to dig deeper in is why those things happen. And I know that they're happening for you as well, because you're only human. And so I think that this ties into another lesson that I've learned in the coaching that I have done for myself to get to this point. And that is that whatever you're doing right now is the most important thing. So right now for me, recording this podcast is the most important thing. Whatever, going for a walk this morning at that time was the most important thing. And if it means that, the most important thing, or the thing that's kind of supporting you to get through what's going on. And if you're essentially dropping back into old habits, or you're breaking promises to yourself because you said you were going to do a thing and then you stopped doing a thing, it means that it becomes the most important thing, because that might be a coping mechanism of the way that you're doing, of trying to get through your relationship, your job. Maybe you've got the Sunday scaries and you don't really want to go to work on Monday, but you know you have to because it's a money thing. So you've kind of got that golden handcuff thing going on. So you fall back into old habits like having a wine or a bottle of wine or whatever it is, because you don't want to essentially level up, or you're too scared to level up, or you just feel like you're a bit stuck. And this is where that lesson of whatever you're doing right then is the most important thing. So instead of having a drink on a Sunday night, maybe it's applying for a job. Instead of, if one of your goals is to lose weight, maybe the plan is to you go to the gym at least once a week, right? So the reality is you start making tiny promises to yourself that replace these old habits or old ideas of what is no longer serving you to be that next version of you. Because again, the third big lesson for this episode, and we're not even 5 minutes in and we got 3 lessons already, is that no one else is coming to save you. So if you have this thing where A, you're breaking promises to yourself, B, when you break a promise to yourself, you're doing something that at that moment is the most important thing. No one's going to come and save you and be like, you're a grown up now. No one's going to be saying, hey, are you sure? Do you need that extra glass of wine? Could you actually be applying for a job? Do you think that maybe instead of sleeping in this morning, you could go to the gym? No one's going to do that for you. You have to do that for yourself. So no one is coming to save you. And you know what? This episode is actually just as much for me as it is for all of you. And the reality is that, yeah, whatever you're doing right now is the most important thing. And so if you're listening to this and it's Sunday night and you've got the Sunday scaries and you're like, fuck, I really don't want to go to work tomorrow. It makes you not feel good, makes you not feel happy, all of those things, then what are you doing about it? Like you get to choose, you get to break the habit, you get to decide that I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to drink that wine. I don't want to listen to that shit reality TV show. I don't want to those things, because whatever that version of me was got me to where I am right now. But where I want to go, I need to be, a better version, a different version of me to be able to get to where I'm going in that next step. And that next step, then when you start to change what's important, and that is maybe the importance then shifts from, okay, I got this Sunday scaries and I know that I've got to apply for jobs. So maybe the next thing is you're starting to apply for jobs and you're starting to do things. Maybe your goal is that you want to lose weight. And so then you start to make a goal of 3 times a week, you go into the gym, whatever it is. But your next version starts to shape, because you start to break the habits, because what the most important thing that you're doing at that time then is something that's breaking those old habits. And it's important because it means that once you start to break those old habits, you can start to build more trust in yourself, and you start to build more confidence in yourself. And once you have more confidence in yourself, then you start to kick bigger goals and the bigger things that you actually want to do. So this is something I've been playing with, and I think that I've been probably up and down. It's one of those things, I think it comes from, the basis of it comes from like almost not believing that things could happen. And there's probably some residual thoughts and feelings there around like, am I really good enough to achieve the thing that I think I want to achieve? And I'm certainly not suggesting I'm a therapist or anything like that, but that's usually one of the beliefs that kind of sit below this stuff. It's like, who am I to, start a podcast? Who am I to be a coach? Who am I to stand on a stage? Who am I to do all these things? But the reality is that all the people that are doing those things are just people that believed in themselves and got out of the way of their own bullshit and decided that they wanted to be better and have a bigger impact and do bigger and better things. And so here we are, right? The reality is that we're going to start making promises to ourselves. And I challenge you to make a small promise to yourself this week. I challenge you to make a promise to yourself to start doing something differently, to map out what that next version of you is going to look like. Start imagining, who she is, who he is, what that person looks like. What do they do? What do they say? How do they feel? How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they dress? Who are their friends? Who do they hang out with? What do they do on the weekend? All of these things. And if the little micro steps that you're taking each day, the most important micro steps that you're taking each day, because every action that you take during a day, you are doing the most important things in your life. And the most important things in your life are not scrolling someone else's life on the internet. That's not the most important thing. If your bigger goal is I want to make an impact, your bigger goal is I want to lose 10 kilos, your bigger goal is I want to speak on a stage, that's amazing. But if you're just constantly watching other people's lives on social media, or you're constantly breaking promises to yourself in the sense that, oh, well, it's just one wine, it's just one cake, whatever it is, the reality is you're not working towards that next version of yourself. And you're breaking promises to yourself, which essentially helps you or contributes to you losing confidence, right? There could be some deeper stuff going on too, and that's fine. But this is the biggest learning for this episode, is that confidence is built but when you can trust yourself. And maybe you haven't been able to trust other people in your life. Maybe you kind of grew up with broken promises and now you're kind of doing it to yourself as well. So this is a get real episode. Like, what are you breaking your promises to yourself for? Do you want to stop drinking? Do you want to do more exercise? Do you want to start a podcast? Do you want to be a speaker? Do you want to quit your job? Do you want to quit your relationship? Whatever it is. But just start with the promise that you want to make and take a micro step toward it today to then try and win, right? To try and win against yourself, against your own self-doubt and self-belief, and the come to realize that you are the only person that's going to come and save you. And if you can start to be that person for yourself, then you are going to level up to that next version quicker than you think. That was Rose-Colored Glasses with RK. I am RK, your host, Rachael Karlyl. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the amazing things. And if you know someone that maybe needs a firecracker in their butt because they're not keeping a promise to themselves, maybe this is the episode that you can share with them. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I will see you on next episode of the podcast. Bye.